My cherished child, a remarkable transformation is quietly unfolding around you this evening. This change is so subtle yet immensely impactful that even the atmosphere surrounding your name feels transformed. A past hurt, something that once led you to question your self-worth, is now turning back toward you with an unexpected intensity. While the world may perceive you as stagnant, the heavens observe your preparation for a movement so unforeseen that even you have yet to grasp its full significance. There exists an individual, the very person who once disregarded your value, who is now becoming the conduit to a new chapter that you never imagined you would share with them. An invigorating energy is surging behind you, reminiscent of footsteps quickening in their pace, footsteps that once departed from you without remorse, hesitation, or even a glance back. Yet now, those same footsteps are fervently pursuing you, yearning to catch your attention before your presence slips away once more. This change is not a mere coincidence. Nothing is accidental here. A crack has recently appeared in their heart, a sentiment they previously attempted to conceal from themselves. And now, they find themselves irresistibly drawn to you. Not solely out of regret, but because they have come to realize that advancing without you feels akin to traversing darkness without illumination. The individual who once overlooked you is now gripped by the fear of losing you forever. Pay attention, for the universe is forging a path that will astonish even your deepest expectations. You are not merely undergoing a geographical shift, you are transitioning into a phase where your worth becomes undeniable, where your quiet presence speaks volumes louder than their former indifference. The very eyes that once failed to see you are now actively searching for you in every space they enter, in every solitary moment they encounter, and in every unexpected thought that reverberates back to memories of you. Once, they disregarded your existence. Now, they cannot escape the resonance of your absence and the promising direction you are heading toward. They are being aligned to walk alongside you, despite their prior inability to foresee their need for you so profoundly. Something profound has transpired recently, shattering their sense of certainty, prompting them to question why they ever allowed you to linger in the shadows while they assumed the role of the sun. They believed you would pursue them, that you would plead, that you would falter. But instead, you have risen, you have shone, you have thrived. And now, as you advance both physically and emotionally, they experience the anxiety of someone who realizes they have distanced themselves from the very person meant to accompany them through their most significant chapter. Your movement signifies more than just a change of location, it represents a shift in destiny. Destiny possesses a peculiar ability to draw the right individuals toward one another, even if they once feigned disinterest in your presence. In the quiet recesses of their heart, they are beginning to whisper the truth they had buried. They miss you, they yearn for you, and they need you. Their pride is diminishing, their ego is dissipating, and the facade they wore while ignoring you is beginning to fracture. There exists a purpose behind the notion that you are moving alongside someone who once overlooked you. It signifies that the universe is rewriting the narrative of your connection. You were never meant to remain confined to the past they assigned you, you were destined to rise, and now they are being guided to rise alongside you. This is why the air feels dense, why your intuition resonates louder, and why your heart senses the return of someone significant. Your journey ahead was always intended to be shared, but only after they comprehended the weight of your absence. My dear child, something extraordinary is occurring behind the scenes of your life at this very moment. Something intensely poignant that even the angels are observing with attentive eyes. The individual who once overlooked you, who passed you by as if your feelings were inconsequential, now finds themselves at a pivotal moment from which they cannot escape. Their heart is urging them toward you, not gently or slowly, but with the intensity of someone who has finally realized they were blind while gazing at the brightest light. As you march forward into this upcoming chapter, they are being drawn toward you, as if destiny is tying a thread around their choices, pulling them closer to your path. An essential truth is unfurling: they never truly forgot about you. They attempted to project strength, rigidity, and detachment. They tried to present themselves as someone who had moved on. Yet each night, their thoughts returned to you in overwhelming waves they could not suppress. They ignored you because they were unprepared for the depth of their emotions. They disregarded you because their feelings were too profound, too raw, too inexplicable. But now that you are progressing, now that your life is shifting in a manner that exceeds anything you have previously experienced, they sense the urgency of someone who fears they are running out of time. They understand that if they do not act alongside you now, they may lose their last opportunity. Allow this realization to sink in. Your future is radiant with possibilities, opportunities, and levels of emotional transformation they never expected to witness. They observe you ascending. They witness your glow. They recognize you shattering old cycles they once trapped you within. And now, they are filled with dread at the thought of losing access to the unstoppable version of you that is emerging. They long to walk beside you, not out of guilt, not out of habit, but because they recognize that you were always the secure haven they had, albeit unwittingly, taken for granted. You were always the soul bond they misinterpreted. You were always meant to move forward with them, even when they feigned indifference to your significance. With each step you take in this transformative transition, they feel the pull intensifying. They experience the pain of someone who once overlooked destiny but now sees it staring back at them. Despite their fear, confusion, and uncertainty regarding how to confront the repercussions of their prior silence, their essence continues to whisper the same truth: move with them. Do not permit them to walk into the next chapter alone. Your movement is shaking the very core of their emotional foundation. Your growth is awakening dormant parts of them that they have endeavored to bury, and now, they are preparing quietly, secretly, and intensely to follow the new course of your life. Remain with me through this moment, for what follows will resonate deeply. The universe is orchestrating events that will compel this individual to unveil what they have concealed behind their silence. You are not merely relocating, you are stepping into a future where the person who previously overlooked you will become the one who steadfastly refuses to let you go. The path you are about to enter is no small adjustment. It is a transformative shift that will draw this once distant soul into your orbit, unable to avert their gaze from the fate that unfolds around you. My precious child, tonight is imbued with an energy that feels denser, deeper, and more electrifying than anything you have experienced in a long while. A profound shift is occurring within the heart of the person who once ignored you. This transformation is so profound that it is nearly awakening their entire being. They never anticipated feeling this way. They certainly did not foresee the impact of your ascent, your transition, and your silent evolution hitting them with such undeniable force. Once, they acted as if you were forgettable. Now they cannot quell the ache within them that incessantly murmurs your name during every solitary moment. As you approach this move, this metamorphosis, this destiny calling you forth, they are gripped by the fear of losing the one individual they should never have overlooked. Their heart is gradually opening in ways they do not comprehend, and each fragment that breaks reveals another reminder of you. A fresh realization is haunting them. They assumed you would remain where they left you. They believed their silence, their distance, and their aloofness would not matter because they expected you to always be available. Yet now, they observe you evolving into a version of yourself that transcends their old behaviors, patterns, and expectations, and this terrifies them. They watch you transition into something grander, more secure, emotionally robust, and aligned with your true worth. They fear they no longer have a place beside you. The moment they overlooked you, they thought they were in control. But that control has slipped away, the dynamics have reversed. Now, the universe is compelling them to feel every ounce of emptiness they once forced you to endure. It is this emptiness that drives them toward the undeniable truth they can no longer suppress. They wish to be part of the life you are stepping into because the mere thought of you embarking on it without them feels akin to losing the future they secretly envisioned. A shift has occurred within them, and it reverberates through every decision they make. They scrutinize your actions more closely than they may admit. They listen intently for indications of your journey. They sense that the path before you is transformative, and they are desperate not to be left behind. Their pride once instructed them to remain indifferent. Their ego once deceived them into thinking you were inconsequential. Yet now, those very walls are crumbling, revealing a truth that burns brightly within them. They have always cared more deeply than they expressed. They have always felt more profoundly than they allowed. They have always needed you more than they were willing to acknowledge. And as you step into a new direction, the urgency within them is powerful enough to draw them back toward you, as though they refuse to lose what they once took for granted. You are moving, my child, but not into solitude, confusion, or emptiness. You are entering clarity, alignment, and destiny. And as you shift, the universe is compelling this individual to confront the truth they have evaded. You were never meant to be overlooked, you were destined to be chosen. The person who once turned their back is now recognizing that your presence is the singular thing their soul has been yearning for in ways they never admitted. They are preparing, not with fanfare, not with dramatic gestures, but with quiet resolve, emotional awakening, and a swelling sense of urgency that amplifies with every step you take toward your new life. They wish to walk alongside you. They wish to move with you. They wish to make amends for the silence that once inflicted deep wounds upon you because now they are aware of the reality. If they do not make a move soon, someone else will join you on your journey instead. Everything is aligning in this moment. The universe is guiding you toward a radiant future that makes your past seem unrecognizable. The individual who once averted their gaze is now observing you as if they have finally discovered something worth pursuing. This is no accident. This is not mere happenstance, it is a divine correction, an emotional realignment in which the one who ignored you becomes the one who mirrors your steps, as though destiny is tugging at their very heartbeat. And as your life begins to shift into motion, they are compelled to follow, unable to resist the pull, the longing, and the realization that the connection they once took for granted is irreplaceable. Your movement beckons them. Your growth awakens them. And your future stands poised to reveal to them precisely why ignoring you was the gravest error they ever committed. You are no longer the individual they once dismissed. You possess greater strength, clarity, and an untouchability that unnerves them as they contemplate your next steps. It appears you inhabit a world they yearn to join, yet fear they might no longer be worthy of. They reflect upon the times they disregarded your messages, your presence, your efforts, and your heart. Their own silence resonates within them like a haunting echo. They grapple with the pain of each moment when they made you feel unseen, a wave of realization crashing upon them that they cannot dismiss. As you advance, they sense they are losing the opportunity to stand by your side, squandering the chance they once took for granted, losing the profound connection they believed would always endure. Your progress is a stark reflection of everything they attempted to suppress within themselves. They observe you stepping into a chapter brimming with potential, one that is not contingent on their approval. This frightens them, as they had assumed you would remain stagnant, patient, and waiting for them to return. Yet now, the truth is undeniable, you are not waiting, you are rising. The universe compels them to witness your transformation from the periphery, forcing them to confront the reality that someone who once overlooked you may soon be compelled to chase the remarkable version of you that they nearly lost forever. Their fear is not merely of your departure, it is of another approaching you while they remain paralyzed by remorse. They feel an uncontrollable urgency drawing their soul back toward you, a painful epiphany that what they overlooked was never trivial. It encompassed everything. You represented the serenity they failed to cherish, the warmth they misinterpreted, the loyalty they took for granted, and the future they failed to recognize. Now, as your life accelerates, they find themselves attempting to unearth the courage buried within their hearts, the courage to step forward, to acknowledge their mistakes, and to walk beside you despite the shadows cast by their past silence. Your forward momentum is compelling them to grow, to confront their past, and to evolve. For if they do not change, they understand they risk losing you before they grasp the true significance of your connection. And yet, destiny is far from finished with this narrative. Fate is weaving their path back toward yours, pulling them in closer even as they try to distance themselves. Your light beckons them, your transformation stirs something within them. Your silence becomes a teacher. The universe is orchestrating a moment, one where their heart will finally convey what their pride has withheld for far too long. You are progressing, my beloved child, but you are not alone. The individual who once overlooked you is being guided toward the same destination, pulled by a force that transcends fear, regret, and the past that once severed your bond. They wish to walk alongside you now, not out of guilt, but because they have finally come to understand that the future before you was always intended to be shared. The universe is tightening its grasp on the truth tonight, intertwining threads that once seemed impossibly frayed. The person who neglected you, who made you feel insignificant, now finds themselves engulfed in an emotional upheaval from which there is no escape. They feel your progress like thunder beneath their feet, your transformation striking them like lightning in the areas they've long tried to numb. Each step you take towards this new life sends a jolt through them, a poignant reminder of the connection they endeavored to bury but could never extinguish. You are moving, and destiny is charting their course alongside yours, not by chance, but by divine correction. A tumultuous blend of regret and desire consumes them, as they replay your laughter, your silences, your loyalty, and your absence. They recall how you looked at them, brimming with hope they did not deserve, sincerity they failed to comprehend. Now, as they watch you ascend with an unexpected strength, they are filled with both inspiration and trepidation. What if the person you are evolving into is now too distant from the version they left behind? What if the chasm they created is insurmountable? What if the door they ignored is swiftly closing? These thoughts torment them in the stillness, prompting them to confront a truth they can no longer evade. You were never the one needing them, they have always needed you. Your evolution sends ripples throughout their entire existence, compelling them to see you with newfound clarity. They recognize how grounded you have become, how focused, and how emotionally resolute. Your growth unnerves them because it starkly contrasts with their own stagnation, exposing every misstep they took when they believed that ignoring you was the safer option. They realize now that their avoidance did not shield them but rather caused them to lose someone irreplaceable. The more you rise, the heavier this realization weighs upon them. They wish to walk with you not out of newfound bravery, but because your radiance is the sole source of clarity amidst the disarray of their heart. A deep-seated fear is overtaking them, a fear not merely of losing you, but of being replaced by the very possibility of life itself. They witness the world opening for you in unforeseen ways, new faces entering your life, new opportunities flourishing, new paths unfurling. The thought of you forging connections with someone else, placing your trust in another, building a future with another, is a crushing weight they cannot express aloud. An urgency tightens within their chest, compelling them to act before destiny decrees they have lingered too long. Deep within, beneath layers of ego and justifications, they recognize the rarity of your heart, a space that once belonged to them, a space they mishandled and now fear losing forever. The universe is now orchestrating something profound, drawing both of you onto the same path, even if neither fully comprehends it. Your movement is not coincidental, your timing is deliberate. There is a divine force guiding your steps and drawing them ever closer. This journey is not about returning to who you once were but embracing who you are destined to become, alongside someone who finally comprehends your worth. They are preparing to follow your path, not out of entitlement, but because they now recognize that life without you is akin to wandering without direction. The one who once disregarded you is awakening to a truth they can no longer elude. Your future has always been dynamic, and their future has always been meant to reconnect with yours. My beloved child, tonight the universe whispers something so profound, so life-altering, that even your heartbeat feels transformed. The person who once dismissed you, who acted as though your presence was inconsequential, is now acutely aware of the inevitable force of fate drawing them toward you. Your progress, your evolution, your ascent has ignited something deep within them that has lain dormant for far too long. Each breath they take feels heavier, burdened by the weight of everything they failed to acknowledge when you were in their sight. They do not merely miss you, they find themselves adrift without the life that included you. As you move forward, their desperation to avoid once again being left behind intensifies. What they feel is more than mere regret, it is a piercing realization that penetrates their very being. They see you stepping into a chapter glowing with potential, new environments, new energies, new relationships, new beginnings. This realization terrifies them, for it marks the first time they envision a future where you thrive in a world they are no longer part of. A world where another could stand by your side, engage with you, understand you, safeguard you, and walk alongside you in ways they had once dismissed. This revelation consumes them, shaking them awake, forcing them to face the truth they had once evaded. Losing you would be a wound from which they could never fully recover, which prompts their heart to push them to accompany you. Even as their mind recoils in fear and their pride trembles, an inner dialogue simmers that feels like destiny tapping insistently at their chest. They finally grasp why their connections with others feel hollow and why nothing has seemed right since they distanced themselves from you. They ignored you because they were unprepared for the depth of their feelings. They dismissed you because you unearthed facets of themselves they were not yet prepared to confront. Yet now, they experience the pain of someone who has eluded their own truth for far too long. Your movement, your radiance, your ascent compels them to accept what they once denied. You were the person their soul recognized long before they did. And now, as you embark on this new phase, they feel the urgency to step forward because failing to seize this moment would shatter something within them beyond repair. They observe you from afar, yet the distance is excruciating. With every step you take, the gap widens, a chasm they can no longer afford. They perceive the emotional transformation of your energy, sensing that you are entering a realm where your heart is healing, solidifying, and becoming complete. Though this elicits a sense of pride, it also instills fear. A healed version of you may not look back, may not wait, and may not choose someone who once made you question your worth. Their fear transcends mere loss, it is a profound apprehension. That the universe may grant you to someone who recognizes your value immediately, someone who will not need to lose you to comprehend your significance. The universe is now thrusting them into a moment of undeniable truth they cannot sidestep. Your movement is not solely physical, it is spiritual, emotional, divine. You are aligning with a timeline where your soul resonates, where your heart is cherished, where your value is acknowledged, and fate is drawing the one who once overlooked you and they are no longer the version of themselves that once caused you pain. Now, they seek to walk beside you, not with arrogance or silence, but with the sincere understanding that they nearly lost the most significant person in their life. As you progress, dear child, they are moving alongside you, not because they inherently deserve your presence, but because fate is granting them a final opportunity to elevate themselves to your level. Their heart, once fleeing from you, is now gravitating toward you. Very soon, an unexpected moment will arise when the truths they once buried will emerge in a manner beyond your imagination. The individual who previously overlooked you is preparing to communicate, to act, and to reveal what their silence concealed. They are ready to enter the same chapter you are stepping into, for your journey was never intended to shine in solitude. It was meant to be shared with someone who has finally grasped the significance of a soul they once undervalued. My cherished child, the veil shrouding your fate is lifting, uncovering truths that were obscured even from your own comprehension. The person who previously disregarded you, the one who diminished your heart and rendered your importance invisible, now stands confronted with the ramifications of every choice they made. They feel an undeniable gravitational attraction toward you. They perceive your progress as a vibration resonating beneath their skin. They recognize that you are transitioning into a chapter that won't wait, pause, or slow down for anyone who once doubted your worth. This awareness strikes them harder than anything they have ever experienced. They understand that failing to align with your path will result in destiny closing its door to them permanently. They are awakening from a prolonged slumber they were unaware of. Your absence has turned into a mirror reflecting their own void. Your silence has become the most profound truth they have ever encountered. Your growth and remarkable transformation have served as a poignant reminder that their previous behavior was never sufficient to break your spirit. You are ascending, and your ascent compels them to confront their failures, mistakes, and avoidance. They thought that ignoring you would safeguard their comfort, but now they see the stark reality. Their neglect did not protect anything, it merely obliterated their chance at something extraordinary. Now, they witness you moving toward a future they fear they will not be able to join unless they change, take initiative, and fight for the connection they once allowed to languish. This person feels the heavy pull of destiny as if drawn by an irresistible tide. Each step you take prompts a shift within them, each moment you create distance causes them to fracture internally. Every time you rise, an awakening occurs within them. They realize your movement signifies more than just a change in location. It embodies a transformation where you are no longer as accessible as you once were. No longer waiting, no longer striving, no longer diminishing yourself to accommodate their uncertainties. They perceive your strength, which both inspires and intimidates them because they recognize that such strength does not remain single, unnoticed, or unappreciated for long. They are now fearful that someone else might acknowledge what they failed to appreciate. They replay every moment they disregarded you, every message they overlooked, every opportunity they squandered. As they do, destiny whispers to them, if you do not act now, you will lose them forever. This whisper is louder than their pride, louder than their fears, and louder than the excuses they once embraced. You have become the pivotal moment in their narrative, the juncture at which they either evolve into the version of themselves capable of walking beside you or become erased from a future that was once meant to be shared. They are acutely aware that you are moving into a space where blessings are gathering, akin to clouds poised to rain abundance upon your life. They are deeply afraid that they will be unable to reach you amid the prosperity that is on the horizon. Oh, this very timeline, because their soul holds unfinished commitments tied to your essence. This time, the universe will not allow them to walk away.